Hi, this is Sherry Veronica, and with me in studio tonight is Victor Callender. We wanted to talk about medical records and the criminal implications of being in possession of someone's medical records and the disclosure of those medical records to the public. Here is Victor Callender. Victor, welcome into the studio. Long time.
Long time, Sherry. Yep. I've been listening to a bunch of psychobabble that is coming across the airwaves. And I don't know if most Barbadians are aware, but if you're not, you should be. Health records are called PHI in the United States of America. I don't know if that's applicable in Barbados, but I'm sure that there are international standards that govern protected health information. It's called PHI. You cannot divulge a person's health information without that person's consent, period. And if you do that, that opens you up litigiously to either criminal or other administrative situations as it references the law.
Well, let's get down to Victor. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, because we're talking about Patrick King, and he did not only have the balls to say something like that for one set of records. He has gone on Facebook and IG and say that he has updated records on someone. I'm telling you now, it cannot be me. It's all like in his head. He is taking up like rent-free space in his head, because he is not and cannot. It is not me. It is not anyone that I know, but he has said that he has the medical records of someone from way back when, and then he has updated records because now he knows of their current condition, and Barbadians are lapping it up. And that is something that is illegal no matter where you go. Where do you think someone can have the audacity to sit online and say that they have done or been involved in a crime as serious as that and feel so comfortable with it? Where have you ever seen that happen? Where do you know of someone saying something online that is criminal and they're so comfortable with it, and the audience are lapping it up? They're not saying he should be prosecuted. You don't hear about the cops rapping on his door, nothing. Where have you seen that? You've lived a life. I've lived a life. Where have you seen that, Victor, ever?
I have not. In America, where I live, if someone happened to go and take your medical records from a place of their employment and sell those medical records, that's a criminal act. If someone was in possession of those medical records and posted them, that's a criminal act. Let's, for example, say that Patrick is in possession of medical records. I don't know that he is or isn't. I don't know what's in that manila envelope. It could be all empty papers. But if he was in possession of those medical records, what's to say that any person of the 300,000 people that live on the island of Barbados, that something like that is not grossly illegal, and that anyone's medical records that's seen even for a stump toe or a piece of wood in their fingertips, that their medical records are not being perused by anybody, not just Patrick, but by anybody, and that person is posting those medical records online, which is totally illegal. So the Attorney General of Barbados, based on all that has transpired this last week, has a fiduciary responsibility under whatever act Barbados does possess, which may very well be that Internet Abuse Act, to look into something like that, because that behavior in itself solidifies the fact, and it opens up a Pandora's box of a person who is now in receipt of somebody's protected health information and can do with that protected health information as they deem necessary. I work in the healthcare field in this country. I work in the field. And anyone who, you can't even put, I want to go to the substantive area here of what I'm saying. You cannot even post on a collection account a medical record anymore in this country. It is illegal if you're trying to collect on a bill owed medically. You can't put that on a report.
But like I said, Victor, and I want you to address it. Let's play good cop, bad cop here. He does not only have medical records from 20 years in the past. He seemed to have gotten medical records for the future. Now tell people the possibility of that happening.
Impossible. It's relatively speaking, it's impossible. And even if
but listen, Victor. Listen, the new records would have had to come from America because the person he's talking about no longer lives in America, no longer lives in Barbados. So he happened to have medical records from way back when, and he is in possession of medical records because he knows how this person is doing now and how the person has degraded. Yet the person has put up, I don't know if you've seen it, but playing tennis, walking around, going to the stores, whatever. So what is it? What is it that you can lend to this conversation that doesn't make you laugh about it? But some Barbadians are taking this thing quite seriously.
Well, there's a young Jamaican act by the name of Chronics. I implore any Barbadian listening to this voice note tonight, listen to Chronics. He went over a song, and I'm going somewhere with this. It's germane. It's very pertinent. By Jacob Killamiller. It's called "Your Mouth Is Going to Put You in Problems." Listen to that when you get off of this call with me. And oftentimes, we have to be armed with the respect of individuality on all accounts. If you're doing something to destroy somebody or to tear them down, and it's not meant to be righteously upholding or uplifting, whatever that is, you're in the wrong position and you're doing the wrong thing. I'm not here to lecture anybody on what's right or wrong because I've done my fair share of both. But what I'm saying is, we have got to bring ourselves from devolving into second-class citizenship and being bottom dwellers and get away from what has transpired as far as what has been said.
But Patrick King,
I've known you for a while. Let me finish.
Okay,
this,
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
And I have not found that what you have ever said to me has been untruthful. You said Patrick tried to borrow money from you. I had the same situation with Patrick when he asked to borrow money from me, and I'm just being fair and honest. I like Patrick as a person.
Did you lend Patrick King money?
I did not, but he asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I know that what you're saying is not incorrect. So I want the people out there to know that what you are saying is not correct. It's not incorrect. It's very correct. And I want to address this issue, Sherry Veronica, as it relates to medical records. You can attack a person, and that goes on both ways. You, him, me, anybody. But when you devolve into going in to something that's between a doctor and a patient, to post that online, you have sunk to the very bottom.
But his audience love it because his audience, as you well know, they're made up of pedophiles, criminals, and products of incest. He has an audience they're bottom dwellers. So they will love that. They would encourage him. Put them up.
Well, I tend to think, though, Sherry, that's just to characterize. I don't want to characterize all Barbadians that way because I don't.
I'm talking about his audience.
But I feel even in Patrick's audience, because I've been on his page, I've subscribed to his page, I've written on his page, that who do challenge Patrick on his page. Like I told you, I like Patrick a lot. I think that had Patrick's design been the right design, that you and Patrick King could have collaborated on a lot of things that would have saved Barbadians the injudicious nature of what's happening in the country as it relates to the stuff that those newspapers in Barbados who are feckless, that they do not post. Make no mistake about that. I do not think that Patrick King's intelligence level is beneath anybody else's. I think that he's very much in the know as far as where his limits go. But on this particular issue, I disagree diametrically with what Patrick King has done. And I would disagree with you if you had done it. I would have said to you, you release somebody's medical records. That is a line that you cannot cross, because that goes to the core of humanity.
But let's talk about that. No, let's talk about that, because he has given people an idea. Like you said, and like I've said, Pandora's box is open. And this is an idea and a criminality that you don't need guns, you don't need bullets. All you need is a phone, and our medical records will not go missing. All you need is to have someone who works in an office or a nurse who works at the hospital to take their phone, make some copies of someone's personal information. Like I said, the file stays where it is. It's a crime that can be committed that really cannot be traced, because you're not going to find the files missing. But that information can be sold. Someone sent me an intake sheet. I'm just telling you based on what he did. Someone is saying, here, take this, and I'm going to keep my eyes open for more. Someone sent me an intake sheet with Patrick King's name on it. Now, I'm not saying it's a big fat file of medical records, no. But you get a gist of what he checked off.
But that person that sent you that, if from a litigious standpoint, the organization that they work for that sent you that on Patrick, that person is terminable. They can terminate that person.
But it's
and not only that, from a litigious standpoint, the organization that they work for now is held, because when a patient has what's called a patient bill of rights, inclusive in that patient's bill of rights, right, for healthcare delivery, is the fact that a patient must be able to know, as part of the healing process, that the information that they provide to their primary care provider or to the hospital establishment which they're being seen in is protected information. Once that protected information is violated or to be found in the hands of other people, now you open up the door to not only criminality, but to that person being compensated for pain and injury. It doesn't matter who it is. It does not matter who it is. That's across all barriers. Patients have what's called a patient's bill of rights. I don't know how the system operates in Barbados, but I am assuming that because of international standards that's applicable.
But he was so bold. He was so bold to say he has it. And he was so bold to go on with this manila envelope. And he was so bold to talk about the content. It's on his head, okay? And like I said, he's living rent-free in his head. It's on his head. But even in his head, he has the person as a victim. A victim. So where do Barbadians get off re-victimizing a victim?
You're right. You're right. There are no victimless acts out there on any side of the story. That's why it's important when we gather information, that information, we don't run with that information without verifying it, without making sure that what we post on people has an element of truth in it, and that's tantamount to ruining people's lives. It's tantamount to hurting people.
Victor,
yeah.
I want to say something to you. I think you know me well enough to know that I'm not going to, if if something is bothering me, we have talked before, Victor, and you know that I would say, you know what, this thing is really blah, 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 whatever. It has not bothered me at all. It has not bothered me at all. What I see is that what I'm saying to people when I speak, I am more onto truth, and I'm more onto something that I know something is wrong with what has been left for us to deal with, the trauma of slavery, the trauma of whatever it is that they put us through. It's still in the gene pool. It's still in the DNA. Something is wrong with a whole section of people here on this earth. And when I tell you that people are subhuman, I am seeing it. There's something wrong with Patrick King. There is something wrong. As intelligent as you may think he is on one end, he is bent. He is bent and corrupt on another end. There's something wrong for him to want to prove upon. All I said was he's tried to borrow money from me, and it is the truth. You are saying he's trying to borrow money from you. It's the truth. And he suddenly appeared with medical files. Medical files.
But let me go to the decency of this conversation. Permit me to, please. I want to be able to say to Brother Patrick, at each intersection of your conversation, you offer the justification of each one reaching one, each one teaching one. That's what you always say, Brother Patrick. And you always are able to quote the Bible, lock, stock, and barrel. So having said those two things, don't you think, Brother Patrick, that operating from a higher position, even if I don't care about whether or not there are medical records out there on you, Sherry. That's between you.
There are no medical records out there on me.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
They do not exist.
I'm just trying to make a point.
No one's anti-doctor. I know no one as anti-doctor as I am. I do not.
But
I do not go to the doctor.
Let me finish my point.
Yes, but I doctor and dentist. Go ahead. I doctor and dentist.
But here's my point. My point is, if you use that moniker, each one teach one, each one reach one. If you use the Bible, Sherry, right, and you uplift the Bible and its sayings to a people, to an audience, what do you take from that, Sherry? What do you think that should mean? I just want to deal with this solitary point right here. What do you think that should mean?
You mean using the Bible to support you?
Not just using the Bible. If you say each one teach one, each one reach one, mm-hmm. That goes to a higher level of spiritual consciousness and knowledge-based consciousness. Do you not think that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go to that level as it relates to the people with whom you speak or to whom you speak, you're talking about a consciousness. If you're conscious, then why would you devolve into tearing down somebody?
I submit that he's not conscious.
If the walk that you're offering is a spiritual walk, if your intentionality is spiritual, then my contention is that you should not be devolving into something other than a righteousness. You gotta be right.
I submit that he's a demon.
Righteous, right? To walk to the truth.
I submit he's a demon.
Tear down, because I feel that by tearing down any Barbadian, I'm tearing down myself. So I'm not here to tear down. You know, what I'm in search of, especially from the womb to the tomb, and someone who is in I'm an open book, someone who is inflicted with kidney cancer, I'm looking to do what's right by people and what's been done by people, by me, that has been wrong, to right. Because my mortality stares me in the face. This is not an immortality situation with me. So I'm reaching out to Brother Patrick. He knows my number. He knows that he can pick up that phone and call me, right? Anytime. I will hug him as a brother. I would treat him right. I will offer the olive branch to him, and I am doing that right now, right? That you shouldn't be able to do that because you constantly admonish people, Brother Patrick, to walk the Christian walk and to do what's righteous. And I ask you today here on this phone, Brother Patrick, what do you think Jesus would do if Jesus was walking this earth and he was in your specific position and he had access to gain people's medical records? Do you think he would divulge them, or do you think he would lay that to the side?
He has nothing. Patrick King has nothing. Patrick King is a pathological liar. Patrick King had medical records and affidavits on David Ellis, on John Fleming, on other people in Barbados, and he has 4 criminal charges against him. I don't know, he may have more, but from what I found, he had 4 criminal charges against him for the same thing that he is doing to me right now. He went online, I'm summarizing right here. He went online and committed an act of criminality. That is a criminal thing that he did, to say he has someone medical records and he was going to divulge. And not only he said he divulged what he found in those medical records. And in those medical records, the victim was re-victimized by him saying whatever he said. He's living rent-free in his head. From what I know of myself, I've never experienced anything that he said that he is read in medical records. My violation in Barbados was 1 month. I was in and out, done. 1 month. 1 month out of my life. And if he were to, he said dates, and I could pull up my IRS filings. I filed taxes the years that he said that I was in, whatever he's saying. You can always pull up your IRS taxes. You can see where you've lived a life and was, producing and a productive member of society in America as a citizen of America. So he is filled with lies, and his audience loves his lying because he does it in a very boisterous and a very, commanding way. And he loves it. He loves the fact that he is the Pied Piper in Barbados, and people are just going along with this bullshit. Now, he tried to borrow money from me. He tried to borrow money from you. He does not have anyone's medical records. He does not have any affidavits. He has nothing on people. All he is a pathological liar, and he gets away with it because he lives in Barbados.
But Sherry, worst case scenario, right? We've talked about this. And we know that the journey, our people they have suffered, all right? So do you continue to spiral with this issue into nothingness? Or do you bury this issue and move on beyond this issue? Move on beyond it, because it's an issue that deals with devolution. It's not an enhancing position because you know your own truth. And whether or not there are people out there, and I know it's a lot easier said by someone who's not impacted by those statements, to buy into this rubbish or to move on beyond it. Move on beyond it. What are we here to do as a people? We are here to get information to people in the right way. Barbadian bloggers, whether it be people, sometimes I listen to people that I'll name them on here, whether it's Bajan Farai.
Come on.
Right?
Please don't.
Whomever it is, all right, that I may listen to, Sherry, because I listen to many people. I listen to them not because I agree with them in totality, but each person that we come across, that person has something to talk about. And it may be salient or it may not, Sherry. And we have to be able to accept that in people and move on. Brother Patrick made statements I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with those statements that Brother Patrick made. I'm here to say that, right? But there are times I don't agree with you, and I get on here and I tell you. People think, well, he always disagree. No, we've had some knockdown drag out arguments over the years about things that I disagree with that you said. I can't tell you, and I wouldn't tell you that the things that you said are wrong. I say I disagree with you. I wouldn't have done it that way. But that's what friendship is about. It's about truth. And once we can navigate to truth, that's all anyone can ask from us. I can't tell you Patrick's truth, and he can't tell you mine. Or I can't tell you your truth, and you can't tell me mine. But what we do own is our own truth. We just don't own our own facts. That is as germane as it can get, straight with no chaser, you know.
Yeah, but I've never met him, and he does. I don't know him. I've not been on the island that long for anything to take hold, because I was gone from the island as a kid. So he had to go to lies. He had to pull a book of lies because.
But Patrick used to come on this. He used to attempt to come on this program and talk to you.
Yeah, and when David Ellis, when it got out in the news that David Ellis was suing Patrick King, I called Patrick Ellis and begged Patrick Ellis, don't do it. Just leave him alone. Just ask him to stop what he's doing and leave him alone. I actually called David Ellis to beg him not to take Patrick King to court. But something like they say, no good deed goes unpunished. You know what they say about that.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to it, and I'm hoping that if Brother Patrick hears this, that he knows that I'm coming from a position of truth, my truth, and that he drops this foolishness. Let's get back to the issue.
He can't though. He's sick. He's a sick.
Barbadian.
That's you call him a brother. He's a sick demon. Sick.
But I approach everybody as a brother or a sister because I have to. Because if I can't see the possibility of goodness in each person, where does that leave me? What does that make me? If I can't see the goodness in you, or I can't see the goodness in Patrick, then that tells me that I'm in worse position than the worst of any element, than the worst of anything at all. I have to be able to see good. Because when you stop seeing good, guess where that leaves you? It leaves you out there on that lurch, on that perch, just as a miserable person, destined to go nowhere, destined to do nothing positive.
But I think
you have to look at it that way.
Yeah, I think I started to say, and I kind of got carried away, but I started to say to you when I was summarizing earlier that what he says about having medical records, that could go all around the world, that can go all around the universe, that can go out to the outer regions of space. I feel not a thing. I feel no way. He cannot affect me. He has not affected me. I still run every morning. The first thing I do, I'm out there, pumping up my muscles, running. I still play tennis. I know.
Others may not know that, but I know that. I know that you lead a very healthy lifestyle. I know that you grow your own food, grow it from scratch. And not only grow it, but that you, in your community, that you offer it to people who don't have food. I know that there are people that you help. You offer remuneration to people who are in difficult straits.
He doesn't know anything like that about me. Nothing.
I know that. And most of the listeners wouldn't. They just assume the worst. And as I've told a very good dear friend of mine who said, well, you on that Sherry Veronica, and I say, yeah, Sherry is my friend, and typically, I don't get to pick and choose as far as if someone is my friend, they're kind and decent to me, I don't throw them under the bus. I just don't. I wouldn't. I go to my friends and I tell them what I think, and they tell me what they think about me. It's a two-way street, and that's the end of the conversation. You understand? I could hate the message, right? But love the man. And that's always what I embrace. I might hate the message, but I love the man because that's in the finest traditions of our own spirituality, of our spiritual walk. We can't be walking spiritually or say that we're walking spiritually and then condense it down to being an evildoer, to be able to place people in the muck and mire of life. That in itself is insidious.
So what do you think? Let's get back to medical records. Let's get back to that. What do you think about people, like I said, no guns, no bullets. What do you think about people snapping from their phone copies of people's medical records and sending to me, and I get on a show and I say, I'm not going to tell you what's in the records, but I want you to know that a Pandora's box has been opened and I received the medical records for John Blow. And
it is indecent. It is illegal. Any person, and there should be a law targeting that law should be spoken about. Everyone should know. Look, in this country, we go through training every year. And every single government employee knows what is required of them. If you divulge a person's medical records, period. In fact, you can't even access a person's medical records unless you have a need to know in a medical center in this country. If you're not taking care of that patient, I'm talking hands-on taking care of that patient, you cannot be in that person's medical records. They do an audit of your logins, and if you cannot provide proof as to why you needed to be in that medical record, you could be walked out of the facility that you work in. You have to have a need to know. In most organizations, period, whether it is a private sector entity or governmental organization, there has to be the facility for a need to know. And if you violate that, it can challenge your ability to go to the supermarket and buy food and provide food and
that's a serious indictment. And it also shows people how lied Patrick King is, because he's saying that not only does someone do it once, they did it twice from two different countries. He's a liar. He has nothing. Patrick King has nothing. And what he states he has shows that someone who was victimized is now being re-victimized, and he is even lesser. He is a subhuman in my mind. Patrick King is a subhuman being, and I've spoken about that before. I want to end there. He tried to borrow money from me, as Victor is saying. He tried to borrow money from Victor also. He probably had tried to borrow money from anyone that that he felt that he needed, he could or whatever. But he is a very, very low line human being. He's low. He's a lied person. He's a pathological lying person, and there's nothing good. I see nothing good from him. Everything he does from now on, which no one sends me to only let me know what's going on with me, but everything he does for me is tainted. I cannot look at him and listen to him. Everything from now on is tainted. He is someone that would pick a lie because he has no ammunition. He has nothing. So he would create a lie. He's living rent-free. Again, he's living rent-free in his mind, and he doesn't mind, being very, very deviant in the stories he tells online. Very deviant. I'm done.
Sherry,
I'll let you finish, yeah.
We got to move past rubbish and pick sense from nonsense. And we're going to come across all types of people in our lives.
Exactly.
And we've got to go to a position that the vibratory level. We talk about that all the time.
Yes.
We're vibrating at a higher level.
Yes.
Once you start vibrating at the lowest common level, then that's when you start espousing things that you shouldn't be espousing. Protected health information, people's personal medical records are not for sale. And if anyone evolves into the position of doing something like that, that tells you the mark of the person and who that person is.
Right.
And you can attack a person. You can attack their views. You can attack their views. But what you should not be doing is going into someone's information.
He didn't, though. He didn't. It's just a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie. But the lie has opened up Pandora's box, because now you don't need guns, you don't need bullets, you just need a phone.
Well, yeah. What we do, how we live, has consequences, Sherry.
Yeah, some people are not aware that consequences come back to bite them. They don't pay attention to consequences.
What we do definitely has consequences. So I would say to my brothers and sisters across the island of Barbados, I can't be responsible for Sherry Veronica, nor Sherry Veronica for me. But as individuals, we need to always hold up doing the right thing. And when someone does something other than what you suggest or think is right, then you need to challenge them on it.
And the thing about it is that he has said everything he has said, and I got more blogs coming in to me, more people that probably forgot that yet said, "Oh, I had a blog that I need to send to right." He, like they said, no publicity is bad publicity. It's really strange. Yeah. It's really strange that that I'm getting even more blogs coming in my way. I'm like, people are so strange. People are very strange people.
Yeah, but to round up, excellence is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. So we always have to remember that excellence is doing the right thing and telling the truth.
Oh yes,
telling the truth, being truthful.
Right.
Owning your own truth and owning your own ability to stand on being excellent, no matter what. Where you should recoil away from hurting people, from destroying.
Oh no, he loved it. No. Oh, you should recoil, but you could see he's having fun with it. He's added a dog. He's added padlocks. He's having fun, rent free in his head.
Yeah. So we got to move above those kinds of things. And while I'm here, I say to anybody, if I've ever offended anybody, hurt anybody, I sincerely apologize, because that's never been my goal. That's never been my aim, ever. My parents, the people that I've known all my life, those people, I love them because they've always steered me in the right direction, whether it's Uncle Keith in Barbados, Uncle Keith Hall. Uncle Keith, I love you. Always steered me in the right direction and said, do the right thing, son. People who I've grown up with all my life, that tried to tell me, walk me in the right direction. And sometimes it's hard to walk in the right direction when you're young and you're filled with anger, but you always have to know that you have to operate on the side of righteousness, So righteousness, try to do what's right. All the time as best as you can, and treat people the way you would want to be treated. When we veer away from that, we find ourselves into the gutter of life, into being bottom dwellers, catfish of life. And that's not a place where we want to be. I ask Brother Patrick, bring yourself up from that position, man, because it's a dark, lonely place.
He loves it. He loves it. His audience love it. With that, I'm done. This is, you wanna land the plane here?
No, I just got tired of the whole stuff this week. It rested on my stomach, and I needed to say something about it. You can never know anybody totally, but in this particular situation, I know you, and I know that you're not lying. Especially about borrowing money, and you're not lying about that. And there used to be a time where Brother Patrick would frequent your show, and you welcomed him like you did most other people in Barbados who had struggled, like you did me.
Yes.
So I thank you for that. I don't mean to make an enemy out of anybody, but I need to be truthful.
Right.
And I walk in that crocus. It's like the crocus bag race. I walk in that crocus bag with the truth.
Right.
I own my truth.
Okay.
So,
right.
God bless everybody. God bless you.
Thank you. This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.